Cubase comes with a color palette for the projects. It's a slightly darker, subdued color, which is fine, and actually I tend to like it quite a bit. But there are times where you may have preferences when you want a different type of color for when you're working. And Cubase allows you the capability to make adjustments to many of the colors in the visual elements here. I'd like to demonstrate what some of the features are, what you can change, and how to do that. Here we have a project. It's a simple project. I made a few different types. So we have an instrument track that is getting its music from a Strator sound from Halley & Sonic, an audio track that used the Hot Suitcase type of keyboard sound, and then we have a MIDI track that's hooked into our rack, which is another Halley & Sonic, and it's using rubber bass sound. Then we have a group track, and the group track, basically all it's doing is receiving information from two of the other tracks, just for demo purposes. And then we have the actual rack information. Here, I'll just play it very quickly. Okay, so with that, let's say that I would like to have, a lighter, fresher color scheme. And so we could do that. First of all, you probably already know that for each track that you have here, you can define the specific color for just that track. And that's going over into the track inspector, in the little right arrow on the first tab. You click that, and you have various choices that you could choose. And the interesting little name is color 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you choose that, it'll select it, and that's the color you will see. Now, that is just for that track and that track alone. What I'm going to be showing you is going to be applied for all tracks in the entire project. What you do is go up to the File menu on a PC. On a Mac, it'd be the word Cubase to the left, and you click on that. So File or Cubase, and then down below is the Preferences. Choose Preferences. So everything we want to work with is up in the top area on the left, the Appearance, Colors. And you have several groupings. Each grouping stands alone, and you could make changes to it and then go back to their defaults for them. And let me just demonstrate about this idea of groupings. First of all, I'm going to make something, let's do it really disgusting. I'm going to make the primary color be some vivid red. This is going to be painful. Be prepared. Get ready. I will apply. Ooh, yes. Oh, that little pop-up talks about that sometimes the changes aren't taking effect immediately, and you might have to restart Cubase. Just keep that in mind. If it isn't exactly what you want, try to restart and make sure it's working okay. Now, what I want to demonstrate is I'm going to go to another grouping here and change something. I'm going to change the audio track to be, let's stay disgusting, a sick yellow color. There we go. We'll apply that. All right, so it's all there. Now, when I want to go and make some changes back to the original, I'm going to get rid of this red for the bulk of it. So I choose this grouping, go down to Defaults, and click it. And it goes back to the way it was, which is less obnoxious. However, if you go back to the grouping that we had changed before, you notice that nothing changes there. The audio is still yellow. So that's a nice way that you could work with smaller areas at a time and make them to your liking. Okay, let's quickly go and make something that's a lighter type of look. Start at the top. The general, I want the focus zone background to be maybe a lighter color. So I will click on this window here, something light blue. Yeah, sure. Let's try that. Okay, this may be a little too light, but it gives you the idea. Now, the next two are related to the borders that go around which area you're currently working in, which zone specifically. To make it stand out, I'm going to make the focus zone, when you choose it, to be, how about we'll make that one be a vivid red. There we go. Here's the new color is red versus what it is now. I choose Apply. And so I can't see it at the moment. Let me go to click OK, and it should show up. There it is. It shows up that the last thing we were working in was in the instrument track. If I go over to the project area and click inside there, you will see that the red changes to a new border, the new red color. So that's how you can change the focused border, which zone you're in. Back to preferences, I will go down to the type defaults. Now this is if you want a particular type to always be a specific color. In the beginning of this video, I made all audios be yellow, which you can see here as yellow, of which, as I mentioned before, you can go over to the instrument track for that one track and override these values to whatever you want, which is what I have done here on the instrument track. The instrument track was overridden from this gray color to a turquoise blue. Another one that's worth looking at is the project work area color. Let's make that work area be, a different type of blue background. Yeah, like that kind of blue. And what you'll see is the area that doesn't have tracks in it is a blue work area here, this blue color here. And you'll notice that that doesn't apply to where you have the markers for your cycling capability. And that's another one which we could handle. Let me go down to rulers, actually back to project cycle color. So I want the cycle color to kind of stand out, but not too much. There we go. Let's make it that. That should work. I will say apply to that. And there it is. So wherever the cycle is on, it's going to be that color. How about we make this ruler for the cycle also be that color? Let's try that. I will go to rulers and go to the active cycle, and I'll try to approximate roughly, yeah, that looks roughly right. And we'll say apply there, and OK. And now you see it's exactly right. And now as I change, suppose I change the cycle area to the right, you see everything moves with it. There are other areas that you can change too. Let me open up the console mixer, F3, and you see some colors already in there. Go back to preferences, and you'll notice the next three groupings are all about the mix console. I click on here the faders, and this is what comes as a default, that each fader button, these little buttons here, are already originally defined to be a specific color. So it's already kind of handy that every MIDI channel has that orange color. Every group channel has that blue color. So you could just keep it as it is, or you could override it if you want to. Some people just like making them all the same color. It's whatever you prefer. Then you could do the same thing with the racks. They already come predefined in the channel strips. And so now you can customize it how you like. Let's just say OK to this. And one area I didn't cover was down in the editor. Let's just double click and you can see the lower zone. You could also change these colors in the same way. And I'll very quickly run down project preferences and editors. You could change something here too. So suppose I want that work area to be a, how about that kind of blue. Okay, and there you go. So have fun with colors, and that's how to do it. Check out my new course. It's called Cubase Overview, what it is, what it does, and what version to use.